Alright, hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. Today I want to talk about differences between Carnival Cruise Lines and Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. Those of you who follow me know we just finished our Independence of the Seas cruise on Royal Caribbean not that long ago. It has been a while since we've been on Royal Caribbean, and it really woke me up to some differences that I like a lot better with Royal. So let's get into it. All right, number one, and this is very important to me and to maybe a lot of you, is definitely the food. I love Carnival food, but mainly Carnival specialty food and their new venues on like the newer ships. So Carnival Mardi Gras, Celebration, and the upcoming Carnival Jubilee, and like Carnival Horizon. Those I like the food on there. There's a lot of included food choices. There's a lot of specialty restaurants and from big time chefs and food personalities like Guy Fieri, Emerald Lagasse? Anyway, Emerald, Chef Emerald, y'all know him. But I do think the Carnival buffet is not as good as it used to be. And maybe some of you disagree. It's okay. It's not something I would pass up if that's the only thing open, if I'm hungry. Royal Caribbean on Independence of the Seas, which is an older ship, should know this. I think 2008 or 2005, maybe refurbished in 2018. I'll put it up on the screen. Their buffet was a lot better than our most recent Carnival buffet, and maybe because it had more options. And I get it, Carnival is eliminating cost, and that is why they can probably keep their cruises relatively cheaper than Royal Caribbean's. I get that. More people will be able to cruise. There'll be a little less food options, but I get it. Royal Caribbean did cost a little more for us, but the buffet I felt was worth it. There was items that I love. Smoked salmon at breakfast. That is my go-to, and that's an expensive item to get. Carnival used to carry that. Now you can get it in the dining room on Carnival, but you got to order it. It's not available like grab and go. So not a big deal really, but that's my first thing. Number two, the drink package. Okay. We don't get the drink package often. We mainly have gotten the drink package on Carnival. I'm not sure if we've ever gotten it on Royal Caribbean, but this go around we did. And we noticed right out the gate differences. Glaring difference number one, Carnival sets a limit on your alcoholic drinks on the ultimate drink package, or the drink package that includes liquor, to 15 per day. Now the other drinks are unlimited, so that your sodas, your coffees, even milkshake. On Royal Caribbean, there is no limit. There is no set limit. Now I know what you're thinking. Why do you need more than 15? Maybe you can handle more than 15. You space it out throughout the day. It was nice to not have to think about that in the back of our minds while we're having fun on the private island and on the ship. Am I getting close to the limit? That's a big difference. Now, the drink package did cost a little more on Royal Caribbean. I'm gonna put the totals up there because I'm not prepared. You can tell I'm doing this video very last minute in the car, outside. I needed a quiet space, and we have some dogs in there and some parrots that are not cooperating right now, so I decided to get in the car. And it's quiet in here. We're in the Tesla. The drink package difference, number two, the difference in the drink package between Carnival and Royal Caribbean, section 2, is when you go to get a drink with the drink package, on Carnival you get a receipt. Even though it's prepaid, you paid it and you did the tips already. It's built into the cost. You can always tip more, and you can tip cash or on the thing they print out. So we always, give a couple of more bucks, $1, $2 per drink. But on Royal Caribbean, there is no printout. There's no more pressure to necessarily tip. So you get the idea, okay, I'm gonna tip this guy well, or this lady well, because they've been bringing me my drinks, they've been whatever, and it's, doing a good job. There's not this pressure with that receipt, the tip culture kind of thing. And there's no waste. Why do I need to sign another receipt? I've already signed a contract for the drink package. So that's a difference I prefer on Royal. So, okay, let's go back. The food is kind of a wash. The buffet, Royal wins. The steakhouses are about even. I will say that. The paid food is about the same, in my opinion. I'm not an Epicurean or a Michelin trained chef, but in my opinion, the paid food is reasonably the same. The buffet, though, the included food is different. So back to the drink package. I do prefer, even though it's a little more money, the drink package on Royal Caribbean. I feel like that pressure to not tip and the no limit pressure, it's really, it makes sense. You're paying so much for it. Don't make it pressure. Don't stress it out. Comment down below if you agree with that Royal Caribbean's drink package is better. I think it is. And I also didn't feel pressure that I had a drink package that I was not going to tip. I feel like on Carnival, now this is just my opinion. When I say I have the drink package, my drink comes out a little slower than Joe Schmo over here who just walked up and is paying for it. That service is automatically going to tip. There is a tip built in anyway. by the way, in case you didn't know that. When you buy a drink on a cruise, there's already, I believe, 18% added. You can go above that, but you don't technically have to tip. Look at the receipt, make sure of it, but that's been our experience every time. I'm sorry I'm wearing my jacket. It is a little cooler here right now, so you might be hearing that static. My number 3 difference is probably the ship itself. Okay, we went on a newer ship in Carnival more recently than anything, and then this ship's a little older, but there's more detail in the Royal Caribbean ships. More like little nooks and little things and design and elements that seem a little more expensive, even though the ship that we were recently on with Royal Caribbean, the Independence of the Seas, is a little older. It was refurbished in 2018 though, but I think they left a lot of the bones and the structural elements the same. They just maybe polished them or did something else. But I do feel the ships overall, they're more visually pleasing to walk through. Like there's more little things and that grab your attention, more interesting like walkways and high bridges and different things like that. I just kept noticing, even though we've been on this ship before, 2015, Independence of the Seas, it's been 8 years or so, it just re-noticing things I don't remember, and I'm sure they're the same. I don't know, I just feel like Royal Caribbean kind of edges out Carnival in that aspect. Even on their newer ships, having been on an Oasis class ship before with Royal, and then on the newer ships with Carnival, Carnival's new ships are beautiful. I think I like the layout, I like the flow, and I like the new center stage area, or like the atrium in a little bit, but it's like a center stage area, and it's like the center of the entertainment and food is all around there. I do like those a lot. I do think, however, Royal Caribbean's newer ships kind of still beat that. Just a little more higher quality finishes. The lighting's a little better. That's just my opinion. I have cruised more with Carnival, and that's because of the pricing and our loyalty status with Carnival. We are platinum. We get more for our money. Carnival was our first great cruise. We actually sailed first with the Royal Caribbean a long time ago. Well, whatever, 2011 or 12 on the Majesty of the Seas, which is now no longer in service, or it's been changed. I don't know what happened to it, but it was really old. That was our first cruise, but we were impressed. And then we went on the Carnival Dream as our second cruise, totally blew it out of the water. We were impressed, but then we went on Oasis of the Seas, and that kind of, then we're like, oh wait a minute, there's a whole lot more. We just touched the surface with Carnival. And not to bash Carnival, I get it, I think they are a lower cost brand. They can please more people. There's more people who can afford to cruise, us included, on Carnival, or cruise more because of Carnival's pricing. I'm not faulting them at all with any of these comments. I'm just saying what I prefer better. So don't think I don't love Carnival, because I do love Carnival. I'm platinum. I've sailed over 75 days with Carnival at sea, so that's a lot of love, Carnival, and they've shown me a lot of love with deals and casino deals and loyalty perks and stuff. I will be expanding though our repertoire, so if I said that right, with cruising with more Royal Caribbean, and we are going on Celebrity Cruise Lines, which is also part of the Royal Caribbean family, coming up soon in December, so stay tuned. Celebrity Ascent, their newest ship. We're on the second actual sailing ever after the inaugural. There's 2 preview sailings before that, so we'll be technically on the 4th. Anyway, let's find something else to compare the two. Number 4, entertainment. Entertainment on board is uniquely different. I will say that, if that makes sense. So I do love the when you get on the Carnival ship, you feel a fun time is coming at you, whether you want it or not. You can stay in your room, but there's going to be fun on those cruise ships. And I think Carnival's cruise directors, far more well known, like even to people who don't cruise, I think follow some of them. I do say I have no idea who any of the Royal Caribbean cruise directors are. I didn't know our recent one. Sorry, I did not know. I barely saw them. And I think they're entertainment directors on Royal Caribbean, whereas they're cruise and entertainment directors on Carnival. I could be totally wrong, but you see the Carnival cruise director. You can touch them, you can see them, you can interact with them on a daily basis. They're highly active, and it's an immersive thing. And their whole team, the Fun Squad. I will say that I am more impressed with the Carnival side of that, and it's a more livelier vibe. Royal Caribbean, of course, knocks everything out of the park. They do the basics, all that stuff, trivia, things to do. They're always greeting you when you come on. I just didn't recognize anybody, and I didn't see the same person. Maybe they just have a lot more people, but I didn't see the same person. Like, you get to know people on Carnival Cruise, their Fun Squad. You get to see, hey, there's blah blah blah, and there's blah 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 again. Oh, they're hosting bingo. So you get to know, and like the comedy host is also somebody well known on a Carnival cruise ship. It's just different with Carnival. I do think they knock that out of the park, and I do prefer that aspect. Now with the shows and entertainment, I think Carnival's newer ships, definitely competition for Royal Caribbean. Royal Caribbean does more of a Broadway type thing, a full-on Broadway production at sea. Carnival's getting to that point, and I think on the celebration of Mardi Gras, we definitely saw those high-end productions. And in the center stage area, very high-end. You're in the show if you sit on the floor. There's people all around. It's just a lot going on, and I think it's definitely competition. They are equal in that aspect. Maybe Royal Caribbean's newer ships, because I haven't been on any recently, can knock that out of the water. I'm not sure, but I will say they are about tied on that. And I do like Carnival's newer ships. Definitely, I've been on almost all of them, I guess, besides Panorama and Vista, but I've been on Horizon twice, and I'm going to be on Jubilee next year too in September, so I can't wait to compare those 3 new XL ships with Carnival. But I do think Carnival edges out Royal Caribbean on the cruise director, the entertainment squad, the fun squad, so to speak. They're just more well known, and you feel like part of that group. I don't know. I really do think Carnival does that right. So good job on that. Let me think of something else. Staterooms. Okay, so this really not fair to Royal Caribbean, because I haven't been on a newer ship with Royal Caribbean, but this ship having been refurbished in 2018. Our room, which you can watch a room tour in some of my other videos, Carnival's rooms have been better. Now maybe it's just we haven't been in a newer Royal Caribbean ship recently, so we haven't experienced what they look like, the basic rooms, because usually we get a basic room with Carnival. We will get upgraded sometimes or apply for upgrade, but I usually get free rooms with Carnival, so the room can look like pretty much anything, but they've been really great. And I definitely think Carnival's newer ships, at least, and the ones I've been on recently, have great staterooms. The flow is great. The restrooms are great. They've got no more shower curtain on the newer ones. Royal Caribbean, the shower was good. It does have the capsule shower, which is nice with no shower curtain, but the room was just very outdated. There was elements in the room that we could not use. They didn't work anymore, like buttons and different things. Just it needs to be, I think, a new veneer kind of on that. So I think Carnival, for us, at least recently, they beat out Royal Caribbean. Now, of course, I've seen the cruise videos of the people in the loft, the Royal Loft Suites, and I will never actually be able to sail in any of those, I don't think, unless I win a prize. Maybe I can peek in one day before people get in there, but those, of course, look beautiful. We have sailed on the Carnival Splendor. We were in a suite, our only time, I think, in a suite with Carnival, and they actually upgraded us to that for not much more. They kind of helped us out back then. It was an older, definitely decor, but it was beautiful room, spacious. We had a bidet. We had a bathtub with jets in it, a shower. So it was definitely beautiful, even though it was dated. At least it had aspects to it. The space was great. So I think Carnival, for us, at least recently, we will be going on Celebrity, so I'm kind of going to throw that in the mix at some point. The rooms look beautiful on that too. Carnival wins that too. So I'm not even sure where we're at with this. I think it's kind of like a tie, but Royal Caribbean's definitely now in my radar. I'm not like loyal only to Carnival or loyal only to Royal, loyal to Royal. I'm not. Tried MSC, their rooms are beautiful. We've done Norwegian. Also, I think they're a beautiful cruise line. It's just we usually go for price and itinerary, and Carnival and Royal Caribbean have more ships, except I think MSC is catching up very quickly. Norwegian also has a lot of ships, but I guess for us, Carnival actually has the most ships and ports that work for us. We live in Florida, and they sail in almost every port, I believe, except Fort Lauderdale in Florida. So we have many options, weekly, last minute, whatever, with Carnival. So Carnival usually wins out with that. So like the sailings and the ease to find a cruise that works for you, for your dates, Carnival usually wins, at least in the US. International, Royal Caribbean wins for sure. I've looked at different things, and Royal Caribbean has ships going a lot more places and further places, except Carnival does have quite a few. Carnival Pride and different ones that go back and forth, transatlantic, do Europe a little bit. They don't really do much else. They will do the Pacific side sometimes, and I think they're doing along from Australia to Seattle, but through Asia and different parts over there, Singapore and stuff. We can't be gone that long, and that's like 22, 30 days or something like that, but it looked like a beautiful itinerary, and I could have got a free room on that, but I just can't be away that long. I would have did that for sure. So that's like another aspect where Carnival wins for us. There's more opportunities to sail on a cruise from Florida or in the US. I don't know, I think and they have pretty great itineraries. We've been to many new places with Carnival, which is great. We just did an ABC Island cruise on Carnival last, and we've never been to Bonaire, and we did a true ABC Island cruise, and I recommend it. Carnival Horizon ABC Island cruise. I do have a cruise series with that too if you haven't seen it. I will say, I think that the service, I will say the staff, let's say staffing, not the service, not the quality of the staffing, but the staffing was more on point recently with Royal Caribbean. They had more people, more hands on deck, so to speak. They had more people and more service places. So like, for instance, the coffee bar, the line was always long, but it was flowing fast. They had people dedicated to certain stations within the coffee bar. So it wasn't just one person ringing you up, making it. Next, you know, it was one person ringing you up, one person making it, one person handing it to you. So it was always flowing, and then one person giving you the food. So there wasn't ever anyone getting tied up with another task. So I do like that. Now it is more expensive, of course, to have 5 people in the coffee bar working than 1 or 2, which Carnival usually only has 1 or 2. And the coffee bar opened up earlier, by the way, 6 a.m. And on Carnival, I've seen it 7, 8, and I believe even 9 a.m. before. I could be wrong, but I like my coffee early. I like good coffee. Royal Caribbean wins with that. In different aspects, we've noticed there was more service with the bar. So like, for instance, we would go to the buffet quite often for breakfast, and we would get offered bar service sitting down, and I like that. I don't really get that. We were even in the top of the show a couple times, and they would come through there and would you like, and of course we have the drink package. Lately with Carnival, they do, you know, in hot areas you will get a drink, but like the upper deck in the theater, nobody has ever gone up there for us with Carnival. Maybe we're just in the wrong spot. Also in the buffet, I don't recall ever being asked if I wanted a bar drink in the buffet by a bar waiter. And I do like that Royal Caribbean has more people there to serve. It is fully dark here. Let me try to lighten this up. This video is probably not gonna go far. Apologize for my face. It's probably really like, ooh. So this is Florida in the dark. Oh, it's not too dark, so this is gonna be fun. But I will say that, so that's kind of where Royal edges out Carnival. Definitely they had, I'm not saying the service was like 100% times better. They had just more people able to serve people, whether it's drinks, whatever. The waiters too, there was a lot. Now I do think Carnival, this is okay, I'm gonna end with this one. Carnival's dining reservations are way better. We weren't able to ever use our Royal app. It didn't work, or they weren't accepting reservations on it for anytime dining. Whereas with Carnival, with the app, with the hub app, you're able to, like, say you're in your stateroom and you're about to go to dinner, you can hit reserve my table. It'll say estimated 10-minute wait, and you're like, great, let's start walking. By the time you get there, you get the alert. Your table number 7111 is ready. Show it to the person. I'm here. Here's my, right this way. Come with me. We love that about Carnival. Their app works great. Royal Caribbean's app is beautiful, and it worked, except maybe it was just our sailing on the Independence of the Seas. Maybe they were at capacity. So we ended up having to wait every night, and we did make reservations for our last night, the day before. But still, we had to wait in the line, and then it's not a big deal, but it's just those little things that you have to compare. The apples to apples kind of things. Carnival edges out on that. So their app, even though it may not look as pretty visually, in my opinion, as the Royal Caribbean app, it actually, the functions worked. I'm also maybe just trained muscle memory with that app. I have no issues with it. I had to kind of think about it and like, where was that on the Royal app? Maybe it's too pretty, it's too confusing, maybe too many options. I do think Carnival wins on that. So overall, I think it's a tie, basically, for me. Now, I know there's many of you out there who are loyal to Royal, and that's great. And people who only go with Carnival, and that's awesome. I like to mix it up, and my thing is mainly price and availability. So that's my two options. Hey, you could be a brand new cruise with low reviews, and I'm going to try you out if it lines up with when I can go. So anyway, that's all I have for you today, and hopefully this video does not scare you away from my channel, as this is pretty scary lighting. It's very Halloween, but I'm going to end it off here. Hopefully you like this video. Leave your comments below if you agree with what I said. I'm sure some of you have different thoughts on some of this, better thoughts probably. But those are just my recent Royal Caribbean cruise kind of woke me up, and I noticed some very subtle differences and some pretty big differences that I think both cruise lines should be doing to make it more competitive, more of a, am I really loyal to Royal now, having trying that Carnival cruise? Or Carnival might be a little cheaper, but Royal wins out on a lot of things. I'm gonna go step over here for a few times. So that's my thought on it. And overall, for me, they're tied. I love both of them, and I won't exclusively only go with one of them. I picked those two because those are my most recent. I will be going on MSC next year in January, and coming up next month on Celebrity Ascent. I'll be going on that. And then back to Carnival next September. Hopefully something in between that January and September, but stay tuned to find out more. And again, let me know what you're thinking. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're brand new, thank you for subscribing and watching. Go ahead and subscribe and like and all that stuff. The bells, ding, 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 all that stuff. Bye. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you can, go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe to see more. Bye.